Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Jeff Bullock, founder and CEO for Prism AI Consultants, and you are on YouTube Live. Turn your chaos into strategy. How Notebook LM saves you hours every week. I'm sure that I hope that you have seen all of the wondrous things that Notebook LM can do. But if you have not, I'm here to show you today. Um, and we are going to get right to it. So Notebook LM is a AI tool. It's powered by Google. So we're going to show you how to get into it and why it's important. And can you believe it is 2025 December and there are still people who have not used AI for their business? I'm talking business leaders. There's decision makers, entrepreneurs who have still not used AI. I think that may be the next one. Notebook LM. Now I've talked about Notebook LM many times in the past, but we're going to talk about it again because it's that important. But first, I want to start with why you would use this. So at Prism, it's all about practical use. Like, why would you want to use this? How are people using it for a business standpoint? And personal as well, but I would say business and research are what we're going to focus on today. So first, what it is, it's powered by Gemini. So that's what's the large language model that is running it in the background. And you can upload sources, whether they're PDF, text, Markdown, audio. So you can upload audio files directly to Notebook LM as well. DocX, so docs, as well as all the rest of these files, JPEGs and whatnot. So you can upload those files. You can upload something from your Google Drive, your website, YouTube videos, or if you get copy text, any copy text, just copy and paste. You can just click on that and you can paste the text in there. You have 300 sources now. I have the Pro account. So Pro account, you have 300 sources that you can put in there. For a regular one, it's 50 sources that you can put in there, a free account. But Notebook LM is a free tool. So on the left-hand side, you would add your sources here. So you add your sources, and you can actually discover sources as well. And from a Discover Source tab, which is right under it, let's say that I wanted to do something regarding Christmas present. That was a business use case. So we'll say, let's say that I am a business coach. So we'll say business coaching in 2025. And then we'll say we'll say business coaches who help like trades. It's like manufacturing, so like trades, like HVAC and electricians and plumbing. Okay, so in that, it's going to now search a whole bunch of websites and sources, and it's going to be able to grab those sources for you if you don't have your own. But if you had your own sources, then you would just upload those sources yourself. So I wanted to show that piece. Now you also have an option of using the deep research as well. So if you click on that, then you will be able to run a deep research report inside of the notebook. But if we're going to view here, these are the different sources that came up. So comparing top 5 HVAC businesses training programs, best trade coaches and job management consultants, HVAC business coaching build ops. So different sources here. Some of them you might like, some of them you might not. If you don't like it, you can uncheck it. If you do like it, you check it. And then you will import this inside each one of them. So these are all websites that it pulled it from. So Reddit, Forbes, digital transformation strategies. So it's 10 different sources. This one, it looks like is not accurate, or it's not for whatever reason doesn't let you go on it. So this is a failed source. So we could probably try again, or we could just remove. So we'll just remove all failed sources. So that one was, so it's 9 sources. And then the middle is where you can chat with those sources. So NotebookLM is going to be your tool that's going to hallucinate the least amount of time. Hallucination is when the AI gets it wrong. Well, Dr. Jeff, how come it's going to hallucinate less than all the other ones? It's because it's going to be significantly focused on your actual sources here, as opposed to its training data and going online and finding more stuff out. So let's say, so real life use case, a lot of my clients, whether like clinicians, like dermatologists, researchers, they cannot afford to be wrong. Knowledge workers cannot afford to be wrong. So they'll put in their own research, or they'll put in their own sources in here, and then ask it questions, be able to query it in the middle here. So you would type here whatever questions that you might have, and then it will be able to get you those responses. So here's the one: what are the functional differences between business coaching and consulting for improving trade profitability? So based off of all of these different sources here, it gives you what the answer is. And another great thing I love about NotebookLM is within the response, you can see exactly where it came from. So you click on here, there's the functional differences between business coaching and consulting for improving trade profitability center on their fundamental approach, methodology, focus, and desired outcomes. So then we click on that, and it shows where it says that in the source. So like the source is there. Impact on trade, coaching impact. Coaching leads to sustainable change and continuous improvement by unlocking leaders' potential, financial management. Coachings assist in refining sales strategies and optimizing financial management practice, so on and so forth. So that's what you would do in the middle. Here's another question. State the ideal HVAC gross profit margin range. So a typical healthy HVAC business maintains margins between 40 and 60, right? So now I'm going to take this response, and I am going to go into another, because I like to check stuff. So I'm going to go into, I like ChatGPT. So, well, I like them all. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. But I'm going to use ChatGPT. Give them some love because they hurting right now. Gemini came out, ate their lunch a little bit. Sam Altman's talking about red alert. So I pasted that response in here. And I'm going to ask, hey, what's going on, chat? I got this from a different AI tool. Could you check the validity of this? Is this accurate? Give me a confidence level score out of 10 based off the accuracy of this. Thanks. So talk to your AI. If you're not talking to it, you need to be talking to it. So confidence, 9 out of 10. This is what the growth profit margin typically is for healthy HVAC companies. Net profit margin is typical, poor, strong, top tier is so on and so forth. So 8.3 out of 10. Remember how NotebookLM works. It is based off of your sources, right? So if those sources aren't the best, then your responses are not going to be the best. So keep that in mind. All right, so that is what it is. Now, the good stuff, if that wasn't good enough, the right-hand side. So the big changes in NotebookLM, the ones that are super claim to fame, infographic and slide deck, okay? So I'm just going to click on it, click on infographic, click on slide deck, and now based off of these 9 different sources, it's going to create a PowerPoint presentation that is excellent, as well as an infographic. It's going to take some time for it, so we'll come back and see how that looks. But I also want to show off the other things that it has as well. So you have quiz, flashcards, mind maps, reports, and the reports you can generate custom based off of the different things there. Audio overview, which the audio overview ends up being a podcast. We'll do that one. And video overview, which ends up being a overall video overview of the different of the sources. So if you want to uncheck certain sources, you can have those ones unchecked, and then you would run it over here, and then it would be able to do it. So as you saw at the top, it created the name of the notebook after I got my sources in there. So once you put your first source in there is when it creates the name of the notebook. You can edit the name up here. You just type in whatever you want it to be. You can also share your notebook with other people. You can put a welcome note so they can see something. They can see like your welcome message as they enter your notebook. So lots of different things you can do there with NotebookLM. Like I said, we're going to come back to that. I'm going to show you some things that I've done around with Notebook. So, so one of the things, I'll actually pull this up for Prism, is we do research. I want to just talk about this stuff. Like AI allows you to do things that you felt like you would never be able to do before. But with that augmentation of intelligence, right? Not replacing, just augmentation of intelligence, you're able to go so much farther. So this is the Prism website. So under the research tab, you can see AI has destroyed the barrier between institutions and everyday practitioners. And here's a proof. I used AI to produce institutional grade research frameworks across biology, cognition, and economics. No lab, no grants, no university. And in here, we're going to talk about, so I've done a few different ones. This is the endocannabinoid associated pathways. We're going to actually look at the second one though. Attention and intention. So I believe that just like gravity is a force and we have equations that go along with that, I think that attention and intention also is a force that has physics around it and equations. We just don't have the science. So trying to see how I can forward the scientific the field in that regard. So if we go back to our notebook, what I was able to do was I did a deep research on attention and intention. So I did this in Gemini and ChatGPT, combined them. So I got deep research. So that's the first source. The second was I took that and then I put it into Claude and ChatGPT and Gemini, and I said, hey, what's missing from this? And they told me what was missing. So then I took that and then I created another deep research to give me what was missing from it. And so then when I had those two, I put them in to NotebookLM, and then in the middle, asked some questions around it. And then on the right, I was able to create infographic, slide deck, and video overview to explain my positioning, as well as explain like what I'm trying to do. So this is the infographic that I came out with. So forces of the mind, deconstructing attention and intention. So you have the force of intention, which is like the goal vector, sets the direction. Intention is a top-down prediction of preferred future state or goal. Minimizes risk. Mathematically, it's a prior preference that the brain tries to realize. Example, I will grab the red cup. This creates a specific goal state the system is pulled towards. So that's intention. You have intention. Attention, the precision controls the clarity. Attention is the mechanism that boosts the signal of goal relevant sensory information, minimizes ambiguity. So then we have the example, focuses only on red objects. So and then we have this. So this beautiful infographic to explain the force of intention, the force of attention, just to kind of get you understanding like what I'm trying to talk about in the beginning. And then, but what really blew my mind was this PowerPoint. Now, I am a Gamma app fan, right? So Gamma app is where I would say one of the leading, if not the leading AI presentation tool. Does an amazing job. I've created so many presentations in Gamma app. However, I will say that this NotebookLM, the ease of use and the quality of these slides will have you saying, I may need to reconsider which tools I use for creating presentations. Because with Gamma, which is, once again, it's very, very easy to use. However, you do need to prepare first in your, whatever large language model you're choosing, whether it be ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever, the first thing is to craft your presentation, and then step 2 would be to actually create your put it into Gamma to create the slides. But with this NotebookLM update, you can just have your sources there, and then you literally just hit a button and it does it. And I've done lots of presentations with it so far in the past 2 weeks, and it's pretty spot on most of the time. Now, I will say that as far as the customization of the slides, it's just not as customizable as Gamma, but I'm sure that's coming down the pipe. But for what you get right now, it's great. So we'll go over this one. The physics of cognition, from metaphor to measurement to machine, operationalizing attention and intention as engineerable forces. So for centuries, we understood attention and intention are powerful yet separate forces. So attention and intention, so driving force. But this metaphorical view has reached its limit. The next leap in AI and human systems requires a unified physical theory. How do they come together? So in my research, I posit the free energy principle. All biological agents act to maintain their integrity by minimizing surprise or prediction error in their sensory outputs. So the core claim is attention and intention are not separate physiological phenomena. They are mathematically distinct components of a single imperative, minimizing expected free energy. So this is the actual equation for it. Now, I am a pharmacist, so needed AI to help me with this, like getting the math with it. I had an idea, but I don't know the science like with this right here. So in getting that, then taking it and putting it into other AIs to understand it more. So in learning, this is what I was able to come up with. Hypothesis, right? Not saying that this is right or not. I'm just saying this is how I was able to use it to come up with the science to be peer reviewed, because I believe in proper science, and I'll be looking for people to peer review as I put this out there. Intention is a detractor field. So just showing off the slides with this. I'm not going to read everything, but I just want you to see that it is legit. Like, it's legit from, all of the words make sense. The graphics are not the same. It's nothing generic and templated about this. Everything, they got charts, they got graphs, and it's very unique to my actual research that I did. So I was, blown away when I saw it. The graph on here as well. I took these slides, put them in the cloud, put them in ChatGPT. What does this mean? Is this right? Making sure that I'm able to explain it as well. So on and so forth. I loved this slide right here because for those who are in the weeds with AI, understanding like how it works and the transformer technology, in 2017, Google released a paper, Attention is All You Need. And in that paper, that is where the transformer architecture was then created by OpenAI, and you get the GPT series. And that's what kind of started this new wave. AI has been around since the 50s, but that's what started this new big wave of AI when we had a merging of, big data, big tech, and big money. Trillions of dollars going into this stuff, right? So that is one of the things that sparked, I would say, my curiosity around the attention idea, because I always had like little pieces of it before, but then after I got into AI heavy and learned how it worked and when I was like, wow, there's so many different aspects of attention and intention throughout so many different facets, whether it's religion or social dynamics, or AI or biology. There's so many different, so many different ways in which it does it. Okay, so that is that's the slide deck. But then also, I was able to just click that button, and we were able to get this explainer video. Now, the explainer video has been out for a little bit. The difference, though, now is you actually can customize how you want it to be. So you can do a whiteboard, kawaii, anime, watercolor, retro paint, heritage, papercraft, or you could do custom. And custom, you can just say like what you want. So you say a children's storybook illustration or Quentin Tarantino style illustration. I have a book that I'm writing called The Black Advantage, and it is that one I said Spike Lee. So I'll show you guys that in a second. But here is, I'll do a little bit of here, the physics of the mind, so you can see the output that this is all the same attention and intention theory, but this is what we get, so you can see like the quality.
Have you ever really stopped to think about things like focus or willpower or intention? I mean, what are they really? For centuries, we've used these cool metaphors, right? Attention is a spotlight. Willpower is a driving force. But what if they aren't just metaphors? What if they're real, actual physical forces? Well, science is starting to move past these poetic ideas to find the physical laws that actually govern our inner world. And that's exactly what we're going to dive into.
So let's just start with the big one. When you exert...
All right, so this is a 7-minute thing, and it goes through like a visual explanation on what intention and intention is and what we did in the paper. So from a business aspect, because
the search has made this dramatic shift.
I talked about this, and all this was like really from a research
moving from the descriptive, sometimes,
but from a business aspect, like think about what you can do with it. So imagine now you have all your clients on the left-hand side, and you have a transcript from their meeting. You click on video overview. Now you send them a recap of what you did via video, that you didn't have to record yourself. You didn't have to do anything. You just click the button based off a transcript that you already had. So that's quick and efficient, as well as premium from a level of something that people aren't really doing yet. I'm sure that'll become mainstream later on, but it's taking a while for people to catch on. I just gave you an example of for me in the research standpoint, from a learning standpoint, the possibilities really are endless around these different tools with the video overview. I could have did a podcast. I didn't do it on that one. But they have that option there for if you want to do a podcast. That's what audio overview is. And if you click on this button here, you can say exactly what you want, how you want the podcast to be. You get to prompt it to direct the direction of it. So wild stuff that you can do with NotebookLM. I said, so we talked about research, and we talked about a little bit from a business standpoint. Let's talk about book, right? So the book that so it's a book that I am writing called The Black Advantage, and the premise of the book is there have been so many different barriers and disappointments with race in regards to African Americans throughout the country and throughout the history of America. I'm pretty sure most people know, from a transatlantic slave trade to the redlining and economic discrimination and so much more, job, wage, you name it, a lot of discrimination. However, I believe that there are some positives as well. And one of my, I would say, idols, mentors, heroes, somebody I admire, Robert Smith, billionaire, he said that, racism is like, it's like gravity. If you think about it too long, it'll pull you down. So, and that kind of goes to the attention and intention. Like what we put our attention on goes to what our energy goes to, right? So if we look at the advantages of being Black in America, for African Americans, being Black in America, looking at advantages, how could we prevail? And eventually the goal, how could we solve poverty in one generation and all of the wealth disparities that are with African Americans? So that's the hypothesis. And doing, as you can see on the left-hand side, these are all of the different deep researches that I did to do that. So that's one of my big dreams is to solve poverty. So in here we have this one, which is the master plan to end African American poverty. Then we have another deep research, which is the abundance flywheel, an evidence-based master plan for ending African American poverty in one generation. Then we have another one, which is white paper production, how historical adversity forged strategic economic and cognitive assets, a blueprint for a new age of abundance. So, and then there's other ones too. So each one of those I did with deep research. Now, I did not do that deep research directly inside of Notebook. The way that I did that deep research was in Gemini. So I will take some time to go through that because I think that's important, because it's also something that is transformational in doing it and how you do that deep research. So I'm going to go through this kind of quickly, but the way that the deep research is done best in my opinion, is 3 steps. So step 1 is to meta prompt. Meta prompt means you have the AI come up with the prompt for you. So we're not even going to start with Gemini. My default AI tool is ChatGPT. And the reason why it is because of memory, it knows me the most, it knows me the best. So then I'll come up with the prompt here. So I'll say, hey, ChatGPT, this is Dr. Jeff. Please come up with the best deep research prompt. And then I always give the goal and the target audience and whatever other relevant, but definitely the goal and target audience. So I'll say the goal is to end poverty in 1 generation for African Americans. And number 2 is, what's going to help me do that, right? So then I'll say, please give me the deep research prompt. That's step 1. So what's your goal? Whatever you're trying to do. Today I was with a client and I asked them, the goal was they want to make 7 figures in their business in 2026. So they meta prompted for that. They say who they were. They used their large language ChatGPTs with their large language model of choice. So it knows who they are. So it gives you like a leg up. You could do this in the other ones, but like I said, ChatGPT just has really, really good memory. So if there's something that you miss in that prompt, it may help you out because it knows you are. So you asked, step 1 is, what is the goal? You tell it you want the deep research prompt, the goal, the audience. You get that. Step 2 in the same thread is you have it self-evaluate. So then you say, okay, I need you to evaluate this prompt out of 10. So evaluate this prompt out of 10. So then it'll evaluate that prompt out of 10. And then the third thing you would do is then you would change it to thinking. And then you say, okay, now give me my 10 out of 10 prompt. So all of those deep researches I did a while ago. So that's why I'm not doing it live. Typically, I would just do it right here in front of you. But those are the steps for any deep research. ChatGPT has deep research itself. And you could just, try to prompt it yourself and then say, okay, now go ahead and run a deep research. You'll get a decent deep research. Like the AI is good. But if you do it the way I just told you with the 3 steps, you will get an exemplary result that you're not going to get the other way. Okay, so take my word for it. Take those 3 steps, get your deep research. All right, so now once you have that prompt, because all that was just to get the prompt, right? None of that was the actual deep research. All that, those 3 steps was just to get the prompt. Once you get the prompt, then you go into Gemini and then you click on your deep research and then you paste it in and then you go. And then that is how you will be able to get it. So here's one. So here's one I did for Prism AI revenue. I did a deep research, and this was the actual results that I was able to get from that one. And then once you have it, I share and export, save it to a drive. I have a drive that's a folder that's called Deep Research. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not sure. So this is the tab. So once you have your deep research, you share and export. I save it to a drive that says deep research. And then I go to NotebookLM. And then I paste it in as one of the sources. So that's I like that way. Now they've added this one to where you don't have to go through Gemini. Even though Gemini is the large language model that powers both of these products, but you don't have to go to the default Gemini. You can just do it through here. I still prefer the other method. Maybe old habits die hard, but you can just do it straight from here as well. All right, so that's how I was able to get all these things here. So I was able to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different deep researches for different types of topics to be able to get it. Because hey, to try to solve African American poverty in 1 generation is not an easy thing to do, but according to the research, it is possible. So that's what's on the left. And then on the right, clicked on these things, and then I was able to get these results. So here is the infographic that I was able to get from that just by clicking that button. So I just clicked infographic, and then this is what I was able to get. Beautiful. The Black advantage from adversity to economic asset, shifting the narrative from liability to asset, the old view, deficit model, new thesis, Black advantage, key advantages forged by adversity, the plan, the abundance flywheel. So like excellent infographic. If you look at the text, it's correct. Just Beautiful job. All right. So I actually did a few different ones. And if you look at each one, so these ones are like the infographic. This one symbol is the slide deck. And then this symbol is the video. So you see different ones. So what I did was I checked and unchecked different ones, different sources to make different infographics. So I have deep research for one thing and deep research for another thing to give one infographic versus another one. You would do that same thing for if you're doing from a business standpoint. Same thing for your clients. Maybe you have one transcript, one meeting where we talked about something and it's relevant in another way. You check on both of those meetings and then you create an infographic or you create a slide deck or you create a video based off of just those sources. So that's how you'll be able to do it. I'll show some of these other pictures here. So this one is the abundance flywheel economic model. So the abundance flywheel from vicious cycle to virtuous engine. So this is a good one. Another infographic was this. I think this is the one I just showed. Yeah, that was the last one. Let's do the first one. So the first one, turning adversity into assets. So this one, cultural capital, psychological edge, innovation advantage, community networks, and global diaspora. So like these are like the basically the blueprint as to how we're going to do it. Just an infographic. Infographics are so cool, and it's such a efficient way to disseminate information in an engaging a way to where you get the point across. And then I'll show the slide deck real quick, so you can see the difference between this particular slide deck and the other one. So once again, not cookie cutter. Like each one is unique, which is slightly different than the video that it does, because the video does follow a specific pattern when it does the explainer video, but these slide decks do not. The slide decks are very unique to whatever the source material that you have put out. Look at this graph. I mean, look at this right here with the world and how the different lines track. Like, I'm just really impressed. Like, this was like really amazing, like blow your mind. And all I had to do was click a button. I had my sources there, click a button. So you're just able to move at a speed that you just were not able to move before. This is not theory, it is evolution of proven models and economic power. Greenwood's Black Wall Street, Mondragon Cooperatives, in Kenya's M-Pesa. All right. So today was all about NotebookLM. Just wanted to give you just a few things on how I'm using it in real life use case. So I use it for my clients. I use it for research. I use it for personal. I use it for learning a lot, trying to learn. I'll take like another thing that you can do just real quick for my attention and intention. So there's this Michael Levin, who is a doctor, Michael Levin. So this podcast, Lex Friedman 486. So you may see somebody who's in your space, in your field. You might see somebody who has an idea that's close to yours or completely opposite of yours. You can literally take that video, plug it in with NotebookLM, and then ask questions like, hey, how does this correlate with what I do versus, or ask questions based off of what was in that video. So it's kind of like I'm asking Michael Levin, hey, look at my work. Do you think it's good? Like, do you think it's relevant? Do you think that it applies with your work? Now, it's not exactly like that, but Google Gemini is comparing it and extrapolating with it. That was a question that I asked here. Was any overlap with my research and what it says Kevin, but that was a misprint, Dr. Levin is talking about? And then it gave it to me. It's like, yeah, there's lots of between attention and intention, what you're talking about, what he's talking about. And what sparked it, I was watching a video and he was saying all things that seemed like they would correlate. So who knows if this is right or not? Like I said, it needs to be peer reviewed, but it sure is nice to know that the average person can now participate in attempting to further science. And It's always been that way, I'm sure, possibly, but there was a lot of roadblocks before that kept someone from doing that and distractions. But now we have these tools that will allow us to really go to the next level with our cognitive abilities by augmenting, not replacing, because there's a lot of work that I did with this too, but no way at all, impossible that I was going to be able to do this without the help of AI. Thank you so much. This is my name is Dr. Jeff Bullock. If you like what you are learning, if you are like, this is some cool stuff, please, I implore you to join the school community, Prism AI family, Prism University here in the school community here. It's 408 members here now. And we have live group training every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays, as well as a lot of cool stuff. We have courses. There's music videos, all cool things that we're doing. We put in here. So, you don't got to do this. You're not by yourself. You're not on an island. Hang out with some like-minded individuals who are also learning this transformational technology for practical use case. We are done with just showing tools. How am I using this stuff to help me get clients, generate revenue, make my life easier, make my family life better, further science, further missions, further goals? How am I using this stuff to do that? That's what we do at Prism. So glad you decided to hang out with me today. Thank you and have a great day.